give me 2 minutes of her.
Dr. Gonka, she is a radiologist in Virginia, and she is working with the communities there, trying to promote wellness throughout the community. She had heard about our area and how the stakeholders work well together with all of the different organizations, and someone told her to come to our back to school bash, and she would see a lot of those organizations. And they wanted her to go to the health council, which was today, and see how everything works together. And so she and I are supposed to get together later this week. She's supposed to give me a call, but she was very curious about how things work within small rural communities. She really talked about how everyone seemed to know each other and were kind to her. And her daughter was with her as well. So
I just think it's wonderful if someone from another state has heard something good about Money County and they want to come and visit. Like, as she stayed with us a little over a week, I believe, so that she could get a good feel of Money County. So appreciate that, and I'll let you do to make that a success. All right, let's go on to, the board minutes. Do we have any, corrections to those?
There was one. I think it's F. Tiffany went and made another motion to use Island Design Group, put a different architectural effort to assist the health department and present the findings to the board. It needs to be added and also taken to commission.
And take,
What's the assistance in that?
it says take to the county commission.
On the first one, it says say on the second. Oh, down here. F.
All right, so we will add that as the further discussion about that.
Have we had anything since the session take place in July, we heard any word on it?
Last that I knew that we talked about, if there's not money in the budget for this, we would have to do some kind of an amendment to make that happen, and we were waiting, and our budget isn't approved, so we can't really spend the money that that's not approved yet, that's outside of the normal workings.
Budget meeting is, here, it's coming up soon, right, don't you know? We hope.
I hope, yes, ma'am.
Do we have a tentative date, or?
There's been a couple of proposed dates, but no finalized dates. I talked to one of the commissioners today, and they have not heard anything. I can check with the mayor's office tomorrow.
Okay, so we do not have a definite date yet for the budget. All right, the next item on the agenda, if you will notice there is quite a few policies, and this is only the, I guess, the tip of the iceberg. If I remember correctly, what I read from GSBA, there were over 200 bills presented and passed this year that had to do with education. And TSBA will be sending us the ones that we need to be aware of, because I have not read a total comprehensive list.
I think that we learned in the conference that teachers get two
Yeah.
extra days.
Oh, wait till we get there, just, it's coming. It's coming, I hope you got some insight there. All right, the first, policy is 1.400. If you will notice, the old policy is first, and then if you will notice at the next, the new policy, Dr. Gurley, speak to what's the new here.
Madam Chairman, the new additions or addendums to the recommended policies by TSBA are highlighted in yellow. And I tried to do that for each of the new policies. There's one, maybe two policies that are brand new. No, ma'am, I have not.
Okay, anybody else check into that? Any questions about that policy? Do you wish for it to be put on the consent agenda? Do I have yeses?
Yes.
B becomes C. Next policy is 1.404, talking about appeals to and appearances before the board. Staff has changed, a little bit. At one time, it was only Shayla, help me out, the items on the agenda, wasn't it? But now it can be anything relating to education. Okay?
This is off topic, and it's kind of part of it. When a student has, when they get from school, they have their first meeting with the principals, and then if they decide to appeal, they have the DHA. Who, according to TSBA, the board selects the DHA. So I don't know if we have a DHA, but we need to pick one. Because if they disagree when they go to that meeting, which is disciplinary hearing, when they go to that, and that's when they request to come to the board.
I don't remember the policy number, but I believe a person is listed as the contact person in there.
Yeah.
I will look up that policy. Do we, you remember what it was?
I looked at it yesterday because
Okay,
I was still here then, so I've been, given that I was still here then, probably not the first time back in the bank.
okay. All right. But we can make sure that somebody's designated and then look it up. I don't think it comes from here.
Yeah, but I knew, that job I remember, I seen.
That was great. I can't remember, it's not.
Yes,
Yeah, the school board has to do it.
yeah, we did. All right, policy 1.404, any other questions, concerns?
So do we have any evidence that this DHA has been utilized, that we've actually been using that? Because it's been my experience, we did not.
My experience, not even.
Okay, so the DHA can only be used if it's 10 or more days. So if they get in trouble and have to go to school suspension for a day, that's not, they cannot appeal. Okay, because it is more than 10 days. So I know here, and I think I can speak for the other principals too, they are given the information. So, anytime, like the student goes to alternative school or is above the 10 days, we actually, or I actually, and I'm pretty sure the principals do too, print a policy for them and give them the contact information of who they have to contact to set up a DHA. But if they choose not to do that, then there's not a DHA. It's not just an automatic process. Correct? So, but it is given to the parents to be able to request that. So, and the student can request it too, and that information is given to them.
Back to policy 1.404, any other comments? Do you wish that to be put on consent? C becomes D then. The next policy is policy 2.100, the old fiscal management goals. As we look at these goals that are mentioned in the new policy, I think it is noteworthy for us to know change from this one to the last one is noted in on the second page, where it talks about child trafficking prevention education. Please read those two paragraphs.
Okay, so these teachers will be given
Curriculum,
for that.
okay, Ms. Boyd, speak.
We have someone coming to do that in our classrooms, the 12th district. Kelly knows the whole, I'm sorry, this is a flow.
It's the 12th judicial district child advocacy centers. They're gonna be coming to our schools. They actually already met up with us to get a, kind of a semi-plan in place so that they can reach all the students.
All right, so, the teachers will be thankful, that's right. My question is, though, tonight, in order to fulfill that requirement, we need to grant permission for those people to do the instruction. They're going to be working in other counties. We're not
Yes.
going-
Yes.
Every county in the state of Tennessee has its own child advocacy center. Ours is obviously the 12th judicial district. So they're taking that kind of on themselves to help with the implementation. They're aware of this and to do it throughout the state.
I would love to see the curriculum, the objectives, nailed out, like you're interested in doing it, but.
I'll be happy to get that.
When you have time to do that, but, we will make sure, ladies and gentlemen, would it be best, instead of putting this on the consent, that we leave this on the approved agenda, so that we can specify that we have given approval for these people to come and do our instruction? How do you feel about that?
Good idea.
Everybody agree that it's possibly the best thing to do? Yes, okay. Then, 4.213 becomes A on the approved agenda. Policy 4.215. Dr. Gurley, if you will address this, please.
Madam Chairman, the state, in its infinite wisdom, has determined that they want to prohibit the access of social media platforms within the instructional day, and TSBA has recommended that we put this policy into place. We are to determine with our staff what is the appropriate use of technology and put into place a process and a framework in which students are allowed to use technology during the instructional day.
But if I understand it to be held to a minimum and,
That's correct.
any questions about policy 4.215? Would you like it on the consent agenda? No, that becomes L. G, policy 4.301. I don't think you have to read this one very long till you get almost confused.
It's basically just saying that you're a homeschooler or a virtual schooler, you should replace it.
Well, Dr. Durley, if you would go with that, please.
Yeah, I think they're opening the door for homeschool, virtual, and or private, school students to be permitted to try out for athletic teams if they are within our district or within our area, which, you know, this is not necessarily uncommon. We've partnered with Sewanee in the past, you know, for some of our athletic groups, with co-op. This is not necessarily an unusual we've extended that courtesy to homeschool students since I've been here, so we just need to modify our policy just a little bit.
Do you have any questions? Any concern? Do you want to put that policy on consent? Yes? Stays G. Policy 4.600, the grading system.
Madam Chairman, mainly the, modification was within the percentage points for, honors or dual credit courses. I think specifically dual credit, we were at 5 points, and I think it's now 4 points, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the only modifications that were made. You'll notice that we've got a locally approved grading system that we've used here, historically. There's really no other changes to that policy.
One of the things that I noted was that if we have any student in the 7th or 8th grade that completes a high school course or something like that, then they can get credit for that. One of the concerns that this brought up that I'm thinking about, and I realize, Ms. Kathy, we don't have test results back yet for individuals, but it does say that if we have an 8th grader that scores, or his or her score exceeds expectations, that was a 7th grader. In the 8th grade, they have to be provided an Algebra 1 teacher. And if I remember correctly, the Algebra 1 teacher has to be certified. And this school term, the 26-27 year, the Tennessee Department of Education is providing the training free of charge to those people. Do either of you two ladies have any ideas how many students there might be, or have been in the past?
We kind of looked at that after the retreat, that's one of the things that we discussed, and, so that, I'm thinking there's around the, maybe, that would apply to if we were happening.
That would be a class, but you're
Well,
taking.
but that's not at one school.
That's right.
That's the, it's countywide. So, that's something that's going to have to be.
That's something that the board this year is going to, the new board.
Yeah, they talked about that at the TSBA, that all the parents now have to have
Yeah, but
It's to the
it's,
parents, I already heard the parents can request if they not.
Yes.
It's kind of,
We also read, they told us the other day was that just because a student may be eligible or required, they may not be able to do the class because they may not be, just mature enough to handle that type of thing. And in that case, it almost has to be almost like a IEP, like we go to the parent and we're like, it may be, you can't tell them to take your kid out of here, but this is the struggles that they're facing, so, we have to be able, they still have to have that option.
and I'm sure they'll be working on that.
well, but the thing about it is, the board in the 26-27 school year is going to have to think about that. I do not see the State Department certifying 4 new teachers in Grundy County, so we can have one of these. If we have 20 students, somebody's got to come up with one.
There's already a pathway for if you're certified to teach 8th grade math, you can take a praxis for
Okay.
Algebra 1 and be certified to teach Algebra 1 without doing anything besides taking the praxis, if they can pass it.
We use that before there's a high school, we
Okay.
have to only teach Algebra 1.
I've thought about that.
That's gonna be a lot of training. We did offer Algebra to 8th graders years ago.
Yes.
I don't say that I did.
And Miss Sherry, thinks that Tracy called it virtually, because we had.
Excellent. if you notice, Lord, we're gonna have people questioning this, and I'm sure they talked about it at the law conference. If you're under a 10-month contract, you get 8 sick leave days. If you're under an 11-month, you get 9. If you're under a 12, you get 10. Whereas in the past, up until right now, it's 10 for everybody all year long. So, did they explain to you all why they changed it? The state changed it, but do we know why?
Ms.
Okay.
Phyllis, right now, it is 1 sick day per month. So 10-month employees get 10 sick days, 11-month employees get 11 sick days, 12-month employees get 12 sick days.
All right,
And then 2 personal days.
okay.
So they've changed,
They've changed it since this came out, because what I was looking at was that somewhere it says in this that, everybody was getting 4 days.
yeah, so
2
in the,
personal and,
in the next policy, it says, it gives them, they're giving them 2 extra personal days and taking away 2 sick days. So it's the same amount of days, it's just, some of them are now distinguished as personal days instead of sick days.
I'll be honest with you, probably the reason why it was modified, if you look at your sick leave policy, it's a little bit more stringent than professional leave or personal days, and I think what you run into is potentially somebody maybe need to go and take care of something, you know, personal business or whatever else, and they may have elected sick time, and your policy directly speaks as to how sick time is supposed to be used or utilized, and in an effort to cut down on potential HR issues or something else, I could see why the state would feel that they would feel compelled to modify that.
So, do the personal days carry over?
Yes.
Personal
yes,
change
they
to
become
sick.
sick leave days if
You
they're not
don't use them.
used.
So the 10-month employees get personal days?
They already, so right now, they get 10 sick and 2 personal. So when this changes, they'll get 8 sick and 4 personal. So it's the same amount of days, they're just divided out.
The reason I was asking is I 10-month employees, from what I know, did not get personal days, they only got sick days.
No, that's not
So
true.
they use their sick leave.
They got 2 personal days already.
So they'll get 2, they'll get, instead of 2, they'll get 4.
And
Does that mean
it's been that way for
It's been that way for
20, 30 years.
All right,
Do they get bereavement or anything?
Yes,
Yes.
we have a policy for that too.
the 10-month, then their total days is 12.
Yes.
The 11th month, their total days is 13, and the 12 months, their total days is 14. Lord, I think it's really important that we realize there is a difference, because it won't be long till a teacher will be calling you about what happened, right?
So, Shayla, do you remember if that policy said just professionals? The one that they showed us at TSBA said professionals, and I was under the assumption that that was for teachers.
We did call it professional development, so I didn't really.
So down in the policy, it talks about support personnel. Support personnel shall earn 1 day of sick leave for each month an employee is employee.
So does the support personnel get vacation?
Vacation?
I mean, like personal day?
It's on the next policy. It's on the next policy.
I'm just thinking, going through this thing, still seems to go with it.
Yeah, it's really gonna give them more flexibility to be able to use their days. So they'll have 4 days to use outside of being sick. Right now, they only have 2.
But, let's just face facts. If I'm a second grade teacher, I'll be second grade, and I am a 10-month employee, and I've got 12 days to use all year long, but right across the hall from me is a 3rd grade teacher, and she's got, what, 13 days?
No, they'll have the same amount. Teachers will all have the same amount.
Are you, all right, I was going to ask, how many 10-month people, is that all teachers?
Almost everyone is a 10-month
Almost
employee.
everyone.
The 11-month employees are, assistant principals at the hospital, they're 11 months. Some of our secretaries, like the hospital secretaries, they're 11 months. Guidance counselors, they're 11 months at the hospital guidance counselors. Our lead nurse is 11 months. Anybody else?
Maybe guidance, I don't know, but there's a short list.
Very short list.
We do have some that are 11 months.
Well, my thought is that as we're starting school, let's make sure that this is well explained to everybody.
We have discussed already, today about doing one of our emails, kind of explaining one of those, we send out to all employees. They can't respond back, but it's just informational, but it goes out to everyone, and attached to the new policies.
And we'll have the principals are gonna go over this as well.
Pardon me?
The principals at school level will go over
Okay.
the sick leave policy and the, cause we, need a little bit of cleanup on that anyway,
But I just think since there is a difference that it needs to be noted at the beginning of the year, that's my opinion. Anybody else got any thoughts? Policy 5.302, sick leave. The sick leave, are we ready to put it in consent or not? Yes, here it comes aye. Now, policy 5.303, that was the one you talked about.
It doesn't mention support staff. No, it doesn't, and that's what this is the policy I was talking about, where they say professional. So is that just the teachers? Or is that for office workers and teachers and, we're talking about this one right here, this is the one I was talking about where they said it was professional and personal leave. Does this count teachers, janitors, secretaries, everybody?
I need to check on it. I need to check, I don't wanna answer it. Just give me 1 second.
Let's check for a minute.
I'm gonna check with the payroll. I'm pretty sure they do it.
Yeah, we've been giving it, I can say that.
Gifting.
Gifting, yeah.
Gifting.
We've been giving it to everyone based on that 10-month, 11-month, and 12-month. We've not withheld.
Oh, I just wanna make sure that, clear. Yeah.
But when so the way it's set up, and that's what I was telling, Dr. Barnett, with this change, we'll have to go in and do a new algorithm inside local government, so that it credits things, so that instead of reading, because it does, it's gonna done through time, done through leave when they use it. So we'll have to go in local government, get them to do us a new algorithm, and match this policy, is what we'll have to do. So the employees will still have access, they'll be able to see every month what they have, and if they use a day or whatever, it'll be there, in their little thing. That's where it is.
It prints on theirs to check stuff. Then local government, they have to go after it, but it's on there.
Something else is 2 half days, 2 days per half year.
Yeah. So that's the total for.
All right. How do you feel about policy 5.303? Any questions answered before we approve it, or we know we need to go ahead and approve it tonight? What's the board's thoughts?
I mean, as long as everybody's included, I need to know if everybody's
till we get an
I know I
answer,
get
would
sick
you
in
like to
vacation.
waste it, or would you like to table this to the next
I
meeting?
don't use my, I don't, case.
Yeah, let me just pick a random, I can pull it up for my benefits with my leave, and I'll just, I can.
I work, I'm sorry.
Okay, how about I just look?
Get me here when I have a kid, I'll know then. Probably have to take days.
Here, I'll look.
Personal and professional wages increases for the city employees, the number of personal and professional days teacher earned, cap sick days at 1 per month after 8 months for the. Yes, well, it's gonna be.
I think that at one time, I think they're in, that's what they, I did not know. Hmm. Oh, I can remember. Because of time, we'll let Ms.
So we'll go ahead and, central office people will be from they get the vacation.
Central office classified people get vacation because they're 12 months. But like 10-month classified employees, they do not get the partial. They get sick days, bereavement days. They don't get partial days. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right, is that clarified for everybody? What do you want to do with policy? 5.303, you want to put it in consent? Yes? It stays J. K is the 26-27 handbook, the elementary ed one, the elementary ed handbook. If you will notice the changes that were made in this handbook from last year, they are noted in red. Other than that, things stay the same, so, I hope you had time to read the handbook, and if you have any questions for Ms. Hill. I noticed the real long red one was talking about qualifications, right? Have those changed a little bit? Was there something about military in there, Ms. Kathy, or was that preschool? Okay, sorry about that, people, I got confused. So anything about the elementary handbook? It's basically the same, except changing dates and other things.
So just so we're, so if a student has 18 or more absences total, then they have to go to some, that's the way I.
There's some extenuating circumstance, and that committee will determine.
Okay.
The reason we wanted to change that is we had it set at 20, but the state was kind of holding us accountable for anything over 10%, which is 18. So we felt like that makes sense.
So once they reach that level, they're chronically absent, according to the state, whether they're excused or unexcused. If that sends us on our school report card, it plays a big part of that.
How do you feel about the K through 8 handbook? Consent? Yes, so it stays together. Then L is the high school handbook. How similar is it to last year? No changes, I didn't think there were. So,
reading through the handbook, I see a lot of policy, blah, blah, blah. And then we just skip on to the next topic. And I know putting every policy in here would make this be the same. But do we have, just a copy of the policies available somewhere, like if, cause not everybody has internet access, not everybody is gonna go there. If they didn't sit, do we have, is it like you guys in central office or at the high school or something where people can actually access the policies?
We go online to get them too.
But, yeah. Okay, so people without internet savvy are just out looking.
So the problem, I mean, they used to be printed in here, like it was,
Yeah.
but then every time you all changed the policy, then our handbook was out of date. It was hard to catch all that stuff. So we went to the hyperlinking of the policy so that our handbook would stay up to date all the time. That's why we did it like that.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. It's just that
But you know,
hyperlinks don't work very good on paper.
it's possible, because, you know, we may need to make policies available, and potentially with students that are bilingual, we may need to offer that too, and I can see where we could have some readily available copies that correlate with our handbooks, in each location.
We just have to have somebody in charge of.
I don't foresee that being an
Okay.
issue, if that's what the board would like to see put in place, I think that's.
That's a good idea. Anything about else about the GCHS handbook, consent?
Copies at each school or copies available as an office?
I would say copies added at each school, that way people don't have to go looking. But we could have some available at the, at the central office as well.
That becomes L on the consent. M is the 26-27 preschool handbook. And Miss Kathy again put the things that were new, different, they're highlighted in red. And I was talking about that first priority there, Miss Kathy, you want to talk about it for a minute?
It really hasn't changed, it just now calls it at risk, and so, that is the exact words that comes from our, VBK Skills and Services in the state census.
Okay. Any questions about the pre-K handbook? Put it on consent. It comes in, the mowing contract, Dr. Dirk?
Madam Chairman, you received, two bidders that met the requirements of the bid that submitted, their prices per mowing. Keep in mind, this is for five school years, in an effort to, prevent the rising cost of fuel, as it impacts, cutting of the grass and other things. There was some inquiries about, other bidders. An explanation was sent out to, everyone, explaining some of that information. It looks as though Eagle Mowing has come in again as the lowest bidder. They've been cutting the grass now for, I think, 2-3 years. I do not have any problem, with the service or the level of service that they provided. I think to date, they've thrown 2 rocks that have, burst out door windows, but we've helped them get those replaced, and I don't have any other issues with their service. I think they, provided great service for the amount of money they charged the district. They have had to increase over the past couple of years due to rising fuel costs. And, that's really all I have to say, really, about that.
Board, do you have questions, comments?
I do, are we 100% sure that there's no other bids that got lost, if we had that one bid that was lost? Because I'm having a hard time taking and doing this with us being unsure about all the bids being included in this.
Well, from understanding, it was not lost, it was misplaced or placed in a different area than from what it normally was. But once it was found and checking with auditors, we were told that we could go on and proceed with the bid opening, provided that it had not been opened, which it had not. But upon calling the individuals that had submitted bids, the person that was questioning their bid being misplaced needed to submit a couple of other items that was a requirement of the bid initially that was not included in that, and we did not accept that bid because those items were not included.
Okay. But do we have more bids that we just play? No, don't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, we do know that.
Okay, because I know that one wasn't found until it was actually questioned.
Well, so we changed our procedure for taking bids to make sure that one person kept up with the bids and did the things, which is, Joe Monet, keeps up with all of them, keeps up with all the contracts, does all that. So when the bid that got lost was brought in, it was taken to the office where all the secretaries are, and one of our secretaries was on vacation. Mary Lee actually took the bid, wrote on it, you know, like the date and time it was accepted, and asked the other secretary that was in there, what do we do with these? Well, she told her to put it in the spot where we used to put the bids. See, when they went to open the bids, the secretary was still on vacation, they did not realize that there was another spot. So when they contacted and asked us about the other bid, we were like, no, this is all we had, and then the secretary that had been on vacation, you know, she was like, you know what, I'm gonna check this folder just to make sure, and that's what it was. It was just a human error.
Any other questions, concerns? Ian will be on the approved agenda, and that will make it is it B, yes. Next is the Brooklyn Logger Park Road improvement request. Dr. Darby, you'll address that one.
Yes, ma'am, I received, this email request, from, Mr. Shover about, some improvements related to a grant project, and they're wanting to make some improvements to the road, that leads to the park, and, they wanted to make sure that they had board permission before they went ahead with that, project. I think due to the amount of traffic in that area and other things that are going on within the community, I don't foresee an issue with it. I thought the board would want to be a part of that improvement project.
Well, I talked to the mayor and asked her what this was about, and she said this had nothing to do with the school board. She said this was all city and nothing to do with the school board. This is a city has got a grant and they're gonna pay the ballpark road.
That's doing the project administrators, the one.
I know, I asked her why, she said she had no idea, but it didn't have nothing to do with us.
But the school board still owns that property that was given to the park, correct? It was agreed upon in a lease that was given to the city of Greeley years ago. And because there's still an ownership that's possessed by the school board, I would assume that the school board would be a part of giving permission to do any upkeep on its roads and or facilities. Now, if the board wants to forego that, that's entirely y'all's decision.
I reached out to Mayor Brady and they both preferred me in the school system.
I assumed it was just common courtesy. I just assumed that it was just courteous saying, hey, we're gonna be doing something next to your road, not as much permission as it was.
I don't think it is.
It's just acknowledgement that we're gonna do this.
Yes, if it's a freebie, if they're going to, we don't have to. Anybody have any problems with that, then
Yeah, Miss Bourne will be doing that in the coming weeks or months.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be a separate list, cause that's 143.
So we are hoping to get it done fairly quick.
Yes, ma'am, we're